Good morning, everyone. Can you all hear me all right? Am I projecting loudly? Oh, no.
Not really.
Do we have?
Andy's got the mic.
Thank you. Good morning. Is that better? Okay, wonderful. Welcome to Social Media Breakfast. My name is Meg. I am one of our board members and our board vice president. I'm very excited for today's presentation. I have seen and met a lot of new faces today, so thank you all for joining us. A little bit about Social Media Breakfast. We are focused on education and networking. So on the third Wednesday of every month, we meet here at Dream Bank and discuss different marketing, social media topics that are relevant. We also live stream on our Facebook page and on our LinkedIn page if you're not able to make it in person. You've seen a few of us today. Gray is back on the pancakes. Everybody, let's give a round of applause for Gray making our delicious pancakes today. And we're always looking for board members. So if you're interested in volunteering, you can find one of us to learn more. This is so nice. Faith is right here in the front running our video. Faith has been a volunteer and board member for quite a while, began volunteering in 2017, presented for us in 2021, joined our board in 2022, was our vice president last year, and she has resigned from our board, but is still volunteering and helping us with the live streaming. So let's give it up for Faith. Thank you for all you do. Oh, and another amazing, exciting piece of news, Genevieve, who is living her best life on vacation right now, is now our new board secretary. So we are very excited to have her talents. She's been attending our events for since 2013. And I think she's doing some whitewater kayaking right now. So that's one of her favorite things to do and like pretty awesome, I think. If you haven't already, you can connect with us. We are on all these social media platforms. And we also have a Facebook group where you can ask questions of other folks who are attending events and have a lot of knowledge to share. We do have a nonprofit spotlight this month. Their table is in the back. You may have spoken with them before the event, but they'll be able to chat with you afterwards too. But the Latino Chamber of Commerce is dedicated to fostering the economic growth and success of Latino-owned businesses throughout Wisconsin. You can connect with them on social. They were also our nonprofit audit participant back in November. So we're happy to spotlight them again and have some extra time talking with them this month. And if you have a nonprofit that you would like to spotlight at a future event, please reach out. Thank you to all of our sponsors. We can't do this event without the help of our sponsors. Everyone listed here helps us in so many ways, especially Dream Bank. So I'm going to give it to Andy to talk a little bit here.
Ooh, Andy.
Thank you, Meg. Good morning, everyone. Let's give 3 cheers for all of the changes within Social Media Breakfast. All right, instead of clapping, because we're adults, we can have fun still. Hip, hip.
Hooray!
Hip, hip.
Hooray!
Hip, hip.
Hooray!
There we go. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Dream Bank. I always love these Wednesday mornings, and I let you know that every Wednesday, or every third Wednesday. My name is Andy Frisky. I work here at Dream Bank, and would love to share a little bit about kind of who we are, what we do, and why we exist. So here at American Family Insurance, we believe that communities are stronger and the future is brighter when people are actively pursuing their dreams. And that's why this place was created. It's an inspirational community destination and virtual experience that's dedicated to dreamers everywhere. Our offerings are designed to help you celebrate the dream journey, to overcome obstacles, and to stay motivated. I'd say we deliver on that promise threefold, the largest one being the events that we host. So we host anywhere between 6 to 15 free events a month that are all organized through the lens of personal and professional development. I head up a lot of our business programming, Josh has spoken before. James is speaking actually coming up here in February. But
Nice.
one event that I want to highlight in particular is on January 28th. We have Brent Halfwasson, a small business coach out of the Milwaukee area, leading a workshop on value and pricing. So I know that many of you are entrepreneurs, whether you're doing the thing right now or getting your idea or your business off the ground. But Brent has a really wonderful workshop that guides you all through on how to best value your product or service and how to price it. So you can head to our website, which is amfam.com/dreambank to register for that. All of our events are free of charge to the community too. We don't charge for anything. So would love for you to check that out. In addition to the events that we host, we also have a drop-in co-working space, which I know many of you have utilized before. But if you haven't yet, and you have some time to explore the space after, where all of the red chairs and tables are at is where our co-working space is. So we're open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 to 5. You're always welcome to come in and have a quiet place to work. And then at the back of the space, we have a very robust and interactive exhibit on site, always rooted in positive psychology. As I mentioned, an oldie but a goodie. We actually are in the process of revamping the exhibit theme, so keep an eye out for that. But I want to give away some books today. So I got 2 books here. We're going to do some social media breakfast trivia. First one, and just go ahead and shout it out, and I will try my best to hone in as to who is saying that. But for the first book, which is Nonfiction Brand by Deepika Newton, how long has Social Media Breakfast been around for?
15 years.
All right, you get a brand new to you book. There you are. Okay, this next one, a little tougher. Social Media Breakfast has been around for 15 years. What was the first month in which the event was hosted? So, February? January? Sadly, that is not true. I mean, there's only 11 more options, folks. So
11 more shots, guys.
Nope. 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 Who said October? You, sir, get cashing out by Julian and Kirsten Saunders of Rich and Regular. Rocktober, all right.
Rocktober.
If you have any questions about the space or our programming, myself or my coworker Jenna are on site today and be happy to answer any. So back to Meg.
Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, and we would like to also give a shout out to our newest sponsor, Serendipity Labs. I believe someone is here from Serendipity Labs. Do you want to say a few words?
Sure, I will.
Okay. They were so gracious to host our 15th anniversary celebration. So if you were there, that was Serendipity Labs.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Marissa. I'm the operations coordinator at Serendipity Labs. We are an upscale, flexible office and co-working space. If you haven't been there, it's very cool. We also we have 68 offices. We also have might need to be close. This? Oh, I gotta need both. I thought I wasn't sure. Hey, okay. This is my first time here, so thanks for your patience with me as I acclimate myself and hopefully get to meet and get to know some of you. So we have offices, all types of companies from financial planners to insurance to game development. And we have coworkers that do lots of various things too, entrepreneurs, all of those things. We also host meetings and events. Looking forward to doing some more events and meetings with Social Media Breakfast. And if anybody else has any questions, I have brochures, I have business cards. Let's connect. And that's all I got. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, excuse me.
Okay, you'll have to stick around till the end to receive this, but we do have gift cards to give away. We'll be giving away one for J&J Gifts and More at the end of this presentation. Oh, wow, we have so many announcements. Thank you so much for sticking around. This is an exciting one, though. We have 2 scholarship recipients for our Social Media Marketing World Digital Scholarship. Addison Smith and Rachel LeCount. I think Addison is here.
Yeah.
And I don't know, is Rachel here? Rachel's not here, but let's give it up for Addison because she's here. Congratulations. And Addison and Rachel will both be sharing what they learn with us through blog posts and social posts. So stay tuned to our channels and you can also learn the amazing things they learn. Okay, our next event. should I?
I think we'll do the rest after. Right?
Okay, we'll do this after.
Cool.
It's Josh's turn. Josh,
Hey.
get on up here.
How do I need to do anything?
You're
Oh, sweet. Thanks.
Here you go.
I've got
Do you
my
need-
own one of those.
Okay, perfect.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? Morning. I've been on this stage many times, but not usually as a speaker. But today, we're going to be talking about 10 social media tips and strategies you should be utilizing today. Raise your hand if you use social media. Yeah. Raise your hand if you're finding a lot of value right now on social media. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's see if we can change that. I'm Josh Klemons. I've been on the board of this organization forever. I've been talking about social media, working in social media, and dealing with social media for a long time. I've seen it go from really easy to really hard to really harder to harder and harder. And it just keeps getting more and more complicated. The world keeps changing. And if you're not keeping up, you are not spending your time well on social. And the goal today is going to be to help you all find some ways to change that. So let's start there. Let me turn this on. Okay, so what is social media? I like to define it as the world's largest coffee shop, bazaar, political debate, and bulletin board all rolled into one. But let's be honest, these days, it's a bit more of a dumpster fire, right? Meta's imploding, TikTok's disappearing, LinkedIn is spamming, Twitter is Xing. It's hard to know where to spend your time. It's hard to know where you're going to get any value, which is why it's more important than ever that you change the way you're thinking about how to approach social. If you are still approaching social media the way you were 10 years ago, you are absolutely wasting your time. Like, no question about it, you will get no value if you and your brand are doing the same things today that you were doing in 2017. Like, there is just no way to get value if you're not changing your approach. Raise your hand if you ever log on to social media hoping to be pitched to. Now raise your hand if you've ever logged on to social media, put on your marketing hat, and started pitching. Everybody, come on. You're liars. You're all doing it. We all do it. I do it. I get it. We all do it. There is a broken dichotomy between how we approach social as users and how we approach it as marketers. And until we bridge that broken divide, we are never going to be happy with the results. There are still opportunities, but we have to change the way we think about social. And that is the 30,000-foot view under which my very specific and actionable tips fall under. So like, this is the big picture philosophy of it. Now we'll get into some specifics, but it's helpful to set the frame. So I want y'all to take off your marketer hat, put on your user hat. You got to stop selling. You got to start building. And let's jump in. Tip number one, optimize your accounts. So I always like to say, imagine you've got a really nice retail store, like beautiful space, and you've worked really hard to curate the most amazing products from all over. But you show up in the morning and you don't flip the sign from closed to open. If you're not optimizing your account, you're telling people you're not open for business. It doesn't matter how good your content is. If you're not paying attention to the umbrella under which it lives, you're wasting your time. So what does that mean with Facebook? Proper URL. If your URL is not just your name, if it has a series of letters and numbers at the end of it, which it very well, I'm guessing 30% of y'all have that, which is fine. It shouldn't be there though. Like, go into your about section, edit it. It takes 30 seconds to change your handle. Your avatar should be clear, simple, and should not change. People are going to recognize your avatar before they're going to see your name. They're just going to see it. They're going to know it's you. And some people try to be too clever and they're changing their avatar with the seasons and with the month. You're making it harder for people to know who you are. Stop. Find a good avatar, but keep in mind your avatar is this big for most people. It's on a cell phone. So they need to be able to see it on their smartphone. So create a good avatar and leave it alone. Your cover photo, on the other hand, can tell a story. You can change that as often as you want. Just make sure that it's relevant now. Don't tell me about your December event because I'm in January and I'm saying, oh, they haven't been to their page in 2 months. This is a waste of my time. Call to action, set it up. The most important thing with the call to action button, two things. One, if you're a brick and mortar space, you have a phone number, you can set it to call now and it will literally connect right to your phone on a smartphone, which is a great way to drive traffic that way. But the more important thing there, remember the funnel. This is top of funnel people. Nobody wants to buy your product the first time they visit your Facebook page. Instead, send them to your blog, send them to your website, send them to a page where they can learn more about why they should want to buy your content, not sell them your stuff right away. Fill out your about section to the best of your ability. I always say it doesn't matter how good your website is. Nobody's on your website if they're looking at your Facebook page. Meet people where they are. It's more important that you talk to them where they are than that you try to get them to go where you want them to go. That is a recipe for failure. Instagram, excuse me, same deal. Clear avatar. Ideally, you should have the same avatar across all your platforms because people are spending more and more time across more and more platforms, and you want it to be very obvious where you are. Like, the second I see a brand. I know exactly who it is if they like look the same across platforms, right? Your URL, clear, simple. You can have up to 5 URLs, but I would recommend still focusing on one. I think like the culture on Instagram has not evolved with the toolkit. Clear, organized, and relevant story highlights. This is a great place to keep your highlights, are where you can keep your stories, that ephemeral content that disappears after 24 hours. It's a great place to tell a bit more of a story. I will say there's talk of those highlights getting rolled into these, which will make that piece less relevant because people aren't going to do that. But right now, like you can see, Ben & Jerry's has fun, values, flavors, recipes. It's a really nice way to show a bit more of what they are. It's like a bunch of pinned posts. LinkedIn. This is the one that professionals mess up the most in my experience, because for so long, LinkedIn was what? A place to put your resume. But now you've got a job. If you're looking for a job, it's different. But if you're not looking for a job, if you're looking for clients, if you're looking for an audience, and you're posting your resume, you are misunderstanding the purpose of LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a place to talk to an audience, not to ask for a job. Your headshot should be clear. And I say professional, meaning it should be, you should put forward who you want to be. If you've got a picture of yourself on the beach and you're not selling surfboards, you've lost the thread, right? Like you want to be talking to people how you want to be seen. Your cover photo, again, like tell a story. Where do you live? This is super important. LinkedIn, just like every other platform, is an SEO tool. So like it's a search engine. And if you don't say where you are, LinkedIn's you're not gonna show up in results when somebody searches social media of Madison. Make sure your bio is clear and concise. I actually have some templates for you, and I'll give you them in a second. The call to action, this is fun. You can actually change this now. This rolled out like without any sort of, like they didn't tell people it happened, it just happened. When you go to type in your URL, you can put any call to action you want. So mine is let's win the internet, because that's kind of my shtick. And that shows up on every post you do. At the very top, there's a call to action that you get to write. And if yours simply says, visit my website, you're missing an opportunity to like get people's attention. 500 is the number where they stop counting how many connections you have, 500 plus. So if you've got less than that, it looks like you're not taking the platform seriously. After that, I don't have any idea how many you have, so don't worry about it. Like 500 is your minimum, in my opinion. Make sure, like Reverbal Communications is my company. You know how often I post to that LinkedIn page? 0. I never post to that LinkedIn page. It's a huge waste of time for me. Your results may vary, but it's worth having for that little icon right there. If you don't have a company page, this would be a gray bar, and that looks unprofessional. You're given a closed sign. It's pretty ridiculous how much LinkedIn hates company pages, but that's what it is. I see some brands breaking through, but for small companies like the Amphams of the world, absolutely lean in. For like the solopreneurs and the small companies, you're not going to get value in a company page, is my experience. Yours may vary. Okay, some templates for your LinkedIn headline. I got 2 that I've collected that I really like. Job title, helping X do Y. This is the one I use. I'm a digital storyteller helping progressive brands better win the internet. The other one, role plus company plus value prop. Remember that this is an SEO, it's a search engine tool. So if you're using clever language like, Digital Ninja, those are great. That's great language, and people, it's very evocative, but nobody's searching for that. So make sure that you're using the kind of language that people are searching for. Not that, like, it's very different when you tell people you're a marketing ninja than when somebody goes on LinkedIn to search for a social media consultant. So keep that in mind. Featured content is a great way to get like more real estate out of your bio. So fill it out to, like add a bunch of featured things in there as makes sense. You can pin any of your posts or actually add new ones. You can have pictures, you can have links. It's a cool spot. Who here knows their LinkedIn URL by heart? We should all be raising our hands in a room full of marketers. It's a very simple tool. On linkedin.com/in/Josh Klemons, there's a good chance that half of y'all have a bunch of letters and numbers at the end. That is a 5-second fix. Literally, go into your LinkedIn page, click edit public URL, and you can just edit your URL. It's that simple. If you've got a public common name, you're not going to be able to nav your name. Like Sam Jones is not going to be Sam Jones. He might have to be Sam Jones Madison, but you can edit your URL and pick something that works for you. So the biggest mistake I see with LinkedIn is that people approach it like a resume. You want to approach it not what people can do for you, but what you can do for them. So make sure that you are framing, you can share your resume, but do it in a way that helps you connect with the audience that you want to connect with. Who are you trying to talk to? That's who you should be like thinking about when you write your bio. So I found this from Ann Hanley. What lawyers put in their bios, what clients are looking for in their lawyers' bios. There's no overlap, right? Like name and contact info. Like everything else is wrong. Like you think you're trying to impress people. They don't want to be impressed. They want to know how you're going to help them. They want to know that you're going to be great to work with. They want to know the successes you've had that relate to them. So again, go home tonight, take a fresh look at your LinkedIn, and I guarantee you there's an opportunity for growth unless you've done this exercise recently. Okay, so there's so many channels. Raise your hand if you're currently active on more than 3 social media channels. There's so many of them. So this applies to all of them. I'm not going to go through each and every one. I would be here all day. The point is not that we should go through them all. The point is that any social platform you're spending time on, make sure that you've set it up for success. So optimize as much as the platform will allow. Okay, that's it for tip number 1. Tip number 2, tag and recognize your partners. I always say, if you're talking about people on the internet without tagging them, you're talking to them on the phone without dialing their number. They're not going to know that you said anything. They might bump into it, but they're probably not going to. So to tag on LinkedIn is super simple. If you're just writing the name, you're not tagging them. Instead, you have to start with the @ sign, and then when they're outlined in bold and the @ sign goes away, they've been tagged on LinkedIn. On Facebook, you start with the @ sign, you select from the drop-down menu, it's outlined in blue and the @ sign goes away, and now they're tagged. If you're not doing that, they have no way to know that you're talking about them. Instagram and Twitter and Threads and Blue Sky are all much simpler. You just have to know the handle and you just got to start typing it, and that's what it is. So that first one, they're not tagged. The next one, they are. This is super important, super simple. That's the end of that section. So we're going to jump right through. So tip 3, cross-post, don't auto-post. So cross-posting. Anybody know the difference between cross-posting and auto-posting? Is that if you haven't heard me speak before, is that language you've heard before? So you've got 15 social channels your company is telling you to manage, right? And once upon a time, people would have said, you need a different strategy for each and every one of those platforms. That was never good advice, and that advice has gotten worse and worse over time, right? Because it's just not possible. You're not going to have a different strategy for Threads and Twitter and Blue Sky. It doesn't make sense. That said, don't post content that doesn't work on each platform. You can post your content to all of your platforms except the ones where it doesn't work, right? If it's not a video or a carousel like photos, you can't put it on TikTok even if you want to. So that's fine. You don't have to put it everywhere. Cross-posting is where you take one piece of content and you post it in a bunch of places all at the same time. And I am a huge advocate of it. I do it for myself. I do it for my clients all the time. I don't think twice about it. Auto-posting is where you post it to one place and then it automatically posts everywhere else on your behalf. And that, in my opinion, is the worst thing people do on the internet. Because it's showing me that your time is more valuable than mine, that I should follow you to where you think I should be spending time. You're not checking the responses. You're not invested in that platform. Well, you're wasting my time and your own. Couple quick, there's just too many platforms, right? There's so many places you could be posting. You need to have you don't have to have a strategy for each, but you do have to have a sense of what works. I have a piece of content. I literally post on all of these platforms, regularly. But not everything goes everywhere. But if it works everywhere, great. I put it everywhere. That's fine. Here's Drudge Report. It's a political post, but whatever. This is old. But every time that Drudge Report posts an article, it automatically tweets it out. This is nonsense content. Nobody's going to click through to this. What does this even mean? ... Okay, great. I'm not going to click through. Here's a band, an artist that I very much like as a musician and very much not so much as a social media manager. Every time they drop dates into bands in town, it auto posts this nonsense. Is anybody going to click through this? This is a press release, not a Twitter account. Here's one where he auto tweeted from Facebook. There's no content. This looks like it's going to give me a virus, not like it's going to give me content. There is 0% chance I'm going to click through on that. And I very much respect this person. He's a very smart person. Here's one this is the one that I always get the question of, well, Facebook and Instagram are connected. Can I post from Facebook directly to Instagram or vice versa? What's the problem with this post other than the obvious? The subject, but what's the technical problem with this post? Raise your hand if you see it. It's not tagged. Bass Nation is not tagged here. That is a broken link. Would you post something on your website or in your email with a broken link? Of course not. Don't post it on your social. If you want to auto post from Facebook to Instagram, do it, but then go fix the tag when you're done. Or better yet, do what I do, which is use Publer or a third-party tool. You don't have to use Publer. I use Publer because it makes it really easy for me to take one piece of content, post it. It's like a Hootsuite or a Buffer. I just like it way more. And that blog post is 10 reasons why I like Publer. So feel free to check it out, but whatever. Use Hootsuite or Buffer or Agorapulse or whatever. But what I really like about Publer is how easy it is for me to optimize each post per platform. So I can create the post once, edit it for each platform, tag it correctly, make sure everything fits, bang, post it and done. So joshklemons.com/Publer. So which platform should you be on? whichever your audience is on. Like only you really know that. You do not need to be on every platform. Don't be on more platforms than you have bandwidth to manage, because just creating content's the beginning. Then you have to go and actually respond to people and engage with people. If you're not, and we're going to get to that, that's one of my tips. But if you're not engaging with the folks that are responding, you are literally doing yourself a disservice. You are worse off not showing up in their feed if they ask you a question and you don't reply. Like that's the whole point of social, is we're building relationships here. Okay, tip 4, short form video is king. Raise your hand if you have posted a video on the internet in the last ever, like whatever. How about in the last week? So I do about daily on TikTok. I have found that short form video, like everybody says it's king, and that is absolutely my experience. Short form video is one of the few things that can still break through the algorithm without money behind it, right? So short form videos are all the rage. Videos get more views, shares, and engagement than any other kind of content. So 60, like the most engaging types of in-feed content, according to Sprout Social, in-feed video. Like posting video will break through the algorithm more than anything else. And for better or for worse, that's true on pretty much every platform. Maybe not Blue Sky, but it's true on Twitter. It's getting truer on LinkedIn, and it's definitely true on Facebook and Instagram. Like they all want video. They want you posting video. I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm saying if you want to see organic success, you should absolutely consider what video looks like for you. Here is a Wise Owl did a study. This is marketers who say video has given them a good ROI. 92% who's increased leads, 90%. Increased sales, 87%. Increased user understanding, 96%. Which makes sense. It's so much easier to talk about something you do than to try and write. Like I'm a writer first. Like I do video reluctantly, even though I do it daily. Like I'd much rather sit down and write something, but people, that's not how people engage. Like they can see face to face, they can understand it. You can walk them through it. Video can move the needle. Types of videos to consider. Updates from your field. You're an expert in whatever you do. Your audience is not. It is your job to help them be smarter at whatever it is you care about. Relevant news. You do not need to be creating all the content. You can go out and find the content. My TikTok strategy is to share the news of the day, and I built a very large platform doing just that. Advice and how-tos. People love advice and how-tos. Meet the team, testimonials, anything that involves pulling back the curtain. Personal news, if it's relevant to your audience, you have to decide like what kind of brand you are, but like celebrating a birthday, getting a new cat, those could be great or ridiculous, depending on, like AmFam's not going to share like the birthday of one of their sales associates. If you're a one-person company, by all means, like do you. Like it's totally up to you to define. Everything has been TikTokified. So I'm going to show a couple quick examples. So this is a very beautiful video. I took the sound out because it's irrelevant, but like this guy is doing this. This is probably in a studio with $50,000 worth of equipment. This, on the other hand, is with a cell phone and a freaking spatula. And this guy gets huge views cleaning tennis shoes. You do, and I show that because you do not need quality video to get views. People don't, in fact, in my experience, the opposite. People don't want to see car commercials in their feed. They want to see their friends talking. I posted this very terrible looking video over the weekend. 125,000 views. It's 7 seconds long. It got 125,000 views on Saturday. I kid you not. Not all of my posts do that well, but every now and then. I always say, if I knew this one was going to do well, I would have changed my shirt. Like I was like, it was just like late. I was like about to go to bed, and I had a thought, and I posted this thing, and it reached over 100,000 people and counting. I mean, it's still going. Short form video. I get it. We all are like, oh, I don't look my best, and it's got to be perfect, and this and that. The internet just moves. Nobody's going to remember you weren't wearing your nicest shirt in that moment. And it is what it is. Like at the end of the day, like I made connections with people. You can't imagine how many people in my comments and in my DMs wrote to me about these videos. I hear this stuff all the time. People value that I'm in their feed, like bringing them along in this journey, and I engage with them, which we'll get to. So I wrote a blog post and did a podcast episode about what I've learned on TikTok. I've been doing TikTok now for a little over 2 years, like on a daily basis. I've gotten in my first year, got nearly 5 million views on TikTok in a year. No dancing, no trends, no fancy editing. Here's what I've learned. If you go to bit.ly/JK-TikTok, and at the very top, that's after 1 year. After 2 years, I did a second piece of content. I created a podcast episode, and that's linked at the top, so you can find it right there. So if anybody wants to see like a little, if you want to nerd out about TikTok and short form video in general, head to that link. Okay. Some video tips. I am a natural storyteller. I want to start at the beginning and build suspense. You can't do that. On TikTok, you just got to start at the top. With any kind of short form video, if you're building suspense, you're losing your audience. Just start. Tell them what they're going to know and then find a way to like retell the story. But the goal here is not to like be an M. Night Shyamalan movie. The goal here is to build a connection. Don't go long just to go long. I've had long videos do well. I have, but generally speaking, the shorter the better. And if you're like adding just to add, you're losing your audience. I've said this many times. I'll refer back to that video I just showed you. Be yourself. You do not need to be an expert to do video well. I am not an expert in video. I literally hold my phone up like this and talk to the camera, and it's working for me. But make sure your lighting and sound aren't taking away from your content. That's like the most important thing in my experience when it comes to short form video, your lighting and your sound. Obviously content matters, but as far as like quality, the only things that can really destroy a video are bad lighting, bad sound. If you want to, I don't, but I mean, I do sometimes, but I rarely do. If you want to edit your videos before posting, there's tons of tools out there. So a few you could check out. Here are some free or freemium options. iMovie comes free with every Apple product. InShot is an app that's free, or you could pay like a couple bucks to get more tools. Canva has keeps getting better at everything, including video. CapCut is owned by the same people that own TikTok. So if TikTok actually gets banned, it's possible CapCut goes away. CapCut is my user of choice. I love CapCut. I would compare it to iMovie, but easier to use and more powerful. It's a really great tool. I use it often. There's also a ton of AI and AI adjacent tools, of course. Descript, Lumen 5, Filmora, there's so many. And there's an infinite number. Google around, find one you like. I personally don't use too many of them. Descript does cool things. Lumen 5 does cool things. They all do cool things. Everybody has something that's cool that they do, but Google solve the problem you're trying to solve, but start with just keep it simple. Okay, tip 5, short form video is king. Links are an engagement killer. So let's go back to this list. Short form video, but URL links to other content, 11%. Raise your hand, honestly, if in the last week you have posted a link on a social media channel. Everyone in here who's a social media marketer has done it, and I get it, and it's killing you in the algorithm. The algorithms do not like links. Why? Because you're sending people away from the platform. Facebook, LinkedIn, they don't, Instagram and TikTok don't even allow it. They're nah, you can't do it. And the rest, Twitter hates it. They all hate it. The only exception is Blue Sky, and I'm sure that will change eventually, but they actually seem to be pro-link, which is pretty interesting. All the other platforms hate links and post them at your peril, and that's the gist of it. So here's some examples. Check this out. These are a bunch of New York Times tweets, right? This tweet got 11 retweets. Here's one with 11 retweets, 14. For a lot of us, those would be good numbers. Guess what? They have 55 million followers on the platform, and they're getting tens of posts, of retweets. The engagement is non-existent because they're not approaching Twitter correctly. They're not adding value to the feed. They're asking you to leave the feed to get the value, and the platforms are penalizing them for it. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying there's no way they're going to get value out of the platforms if they're fighting against the platforms. I'm reluctant to take questions, guys, so much. Can we do it at the end, or is it a clarifier? No, because this is true across all of the content. I just picked New York Times because they're easy, but no, go look at any platform doing this and you'll see the exact same thing. Here's more on, this is Facebook. 8 likes, 2 shares, 29 likes, 36 comments, 24 likes, 31 likes. They have 20 million likes on Facebook. If you have 20 million likes on Facebook, do whatever the hell you want. If you don't, follow the algorithm, do what you're supposed to do, or else just, accept the fact that no one's going to see your content.
What about URLs in the comment section?
So I'm going to give a better example. I have a better tip for that because in my experience, those work exactly the same. Posting your URL in the first comment. Okay, so everybody does that link in first comment. LinkedIn treats the first comment the same as the post if it came from you. So if you want to post a link in the comment, first you got to get 2 to 3 other comments before you can do that. So if you got a crew who's responding to your stuff, you can come back later and do it. But if you post and then add the link, you might as well just put the link in the post. That's how LinkedIn treats it. Yeah, no, for sure. It's a good question. So what can you do instead? Use a video, find a way to turn it into a video. Share the takeaways, not the link. I tried to find a screenshot of it, but I couldn't. I saw a post by a woman, Rachel Carton, who does social, and she talked about the fact that she had posted about a podcast or something she was on, or her newsletter, and she knows that the platform hate links, so she didn't post it, and she still got dozens of signups to her newsletter that she was directly attributable to that because people were willing to do the work. People were like, damn, this woman sounds interesting, I'll go find it. Trust your audience to keep going if you add value. Photos and graphics are better than a link, and sometimes I don't want to like talk about pirating, but like sometimes a screenshot of the article is better than a link to the article because then you can talk about it. Screenshots of tweets still work really well. I wish they didn't, but like people love screenshots of tweets. They hate Twitter. They love tweets. I don't know what it is, but it's something in the psychology of like, oh, I have to stop and read this. Reddit's too. Actually, Reddit posts also will stop the feed often. Memes obviously can cut through. And then here's my hack that I prefer to posting it in the first comment, which is share an image, but include the link in the post. So what I mean by that is do not post the link and then let it populate it and then write it up. Instead, post the photo first and then put the comment in there. It's not a magic trick. It doesn't always like outperform, but in my experience, this seems to stop the like this. They don't treat this as a link post the same way that this definitely is just a link post. So I could write the exact same thing. It's just the difference between posting the link first or the image first. Once the image is in there, the link will not populate. And LinkedIn seems to not hate that as much as posting it in the first comment. Again, your results may vary. There's no right answer here. LinkedIn gives us advice, but they don't tell us exactly how these things work. But this is the hack I use all the time, especially on LinkedIn. If it's a quick question, yeah. Okay, yeah. Oh, so this was just me throwing this together quickly. What I'll normally do, like if I have a new blog post, I'll do a graphic that says the article or the blog post, and then I'll post it right in there. And if you go through my LinkedIn feed, you'll see me doing that a ton. So yeah, that's a great, this was me just like trying to throw this example together. Okay, so Matt McGarry writes about newsletters. I'm a big fan of his. If you don't know him, you can check him out. So this is not exactly about social, but I really like this example, and it felt like it made sense here. So I used to say this all the time, and he said it better. If you're sending emails to drive traffic to your website, you're not sending newsletters, you're sending a marketing email for your blog. And people do this all the time. If you want people to open your newsletters, add value in your newsletters. It's the exact same as social. If you want people to engage with your social, add the value to their feeds. If you want them to open your emails, add the value to your emails. Don't send me a newsletter telling me you have a new blog post. Tell me why I should care. Like when I open that newsletter, it either adds value or it doesn't. And if it doesn't, it's an unsub or a spam or an ignore. And if it does, hell yeah, I'll click through. Like I want to learn more. Like this is great. So like add value meet people where they're at. Don't expect them to come to you. If you do that, in my experience, people will follow, but you cannot expect them to come to you if you're not like meeting them there. Okay, I got a lot more, so let's keep going. Tip 6, engage. So this is a pretty basic one, but if you're posting and not responding to the comments, you should delete your accounts. Like you're not getting any value out of social media if you're thinking of this as a one-way street instead of a two-way street. Respond to questions and comments. Obviously, if somebody asks a question and you don't answer, you don't deserve their business. Like I'm going to be blunt there. Like why should they work with you if you can't be bothered to respond to their post? And I'm not saying you got to respond in 3 seconds or even 3 minutes, but if you haven't responded in a day or two, you're not getting that customer. You're not bringing in that audience member. Duolingo, they are the masters of TikTok, right? Everybody, like anybody who's ever been on TikTok knows, like you've seen this owl and you know, they're out there crushing it. But you know what? Along with having phenomenal posting game, you know what else Duolingo does on social, especially on TikTok, really well? They're the comment people. You go to almost any big post on TikTok and they were the first comment often, or at the very least, they are like in the comments engaging. They are phenomenal posters. They are just as phenomenal responders. I was just working with a client recently who's having a hard time navigating like regulatory things. And my response to them was like, focus on posting. But you know what? You just need to be known in your community as like the cool, fun, interesting people. You should just be in the comments of everybody, not pitching your products, but just talking about how much you love their products and just like be out there. Raise your name ID by just engaging. And to me, that is a better, like you can get more love sometimes in the comments than you can in the posts. Like that is my experience. So like think about, like by all means, respond to the comments, but also like add comments yourself. Okay. Tip 7, develop own properties. So we've all talked about how social media is a dumpster fire. Who the hell knows if any social media channels will still exist a year from today? Everything is imploding. It's our job to get people off social and onto things that we own, right? Social media is rented real estate. You worked really hard to build an audience, and unfortunately, these guys do not care, not even a little bit. They do not care about your audience. They do not care about your profits. They do not care about your content. They care about their bottom line, right? So I'm not saying you shouldn't use social. You absolutely should. I post on social every day. But you should be thinking about using social to move your audience to properties that you own. So we're building on quicksand, and it's our job to change that. So what does that mean? Develop channels that you own. So that can include newsletters, obviously, where like no algorithm can get between you and your audience, YouTube channels, podcasts, communities, Slack, Discord, even Facebook groups can kind of apply here, but like certainly getting them off Facebook is also good, you know. Blogs are great for SEO, which we're going to talk about in a minute. If you don't have at least one lead gen tool, you should change that. Lead gen is short for lead generation. It's something that's valuable enough somebody will trade you their email, but not so valuable that it will put you out of business, right? So I have 2 on my website that I'll just show you as examples. If you go to joshklemons.com/free checklists, one I wrote years ago back when Facebook Live was like all the rage, and it's just a free Facebook Live checklist. And the second is just an email success checklist. You can download that for free. I'm happy for you to have it. It'll help you write better emails, and in exchange, I'll have your email so I can keep giving you useful tips. HubSpot is the master. If you don't know, HubSpot is yes, they're a Salesforce, MailChimp type CRM platform, but they're also the best content marketers around right now, in my personal opinion. And they have like hundreds of free tools. Like I bump into them all the time when I'm looking for tools. If you want to make my persona, like to understand your brand better, go and do it. It's completely free. You give them your email, and in exchange, they'll send you emails telling you about other cool stuff they've built. Like they just get that they're not trying to sell you a product. They're trying to add so much value to your life that you're desperate to work with them. I don't work with them, and I still get their value all the time. Like, and they're cool with that. So like, there's lots of ways to think about lead gen tools. It could be a tool. It could be a downloadable PDF. It could be an ebook, whatever, a course. But a course is, you know, like maybe it's the mini version of the course, then you sell the bigger version. Okay. I alluded to blogging. I am a huge advocate for blogging. Raise your hand if you and/or your brand blog. Every brand who wants to build on the internet should be blogging. I am a huge advocate of that. I know I sound like I'm in like a 1990s infomercial, but I still get so much value out of blogging. It is wild, and I cannot recommend it enough. Here's my 3 reasons why you should be blogging. It's great for SEO. SEO, search engine optimization. Search engine optimization, for those who don't know, is the ability of people to find you on Google. If somebody Googles your name and you're not on the first page of Google, you've got bad SEO. If somebody Googles a very generic key term that you're working in and you show up on the first page of Google, you have phenomenal SEO. Most people are somewhere in between. So blogging is, other than building your site correctly in the first place, the single best thing you can do to grow your SEO is blog. No question. That is it. Like, blogging is the best thing you can do to make your site show up on Google. It positions you an expert in your field. It doesn't matter how smart your audience is. You know more about your field than they do. Teach them something. Putting pen to paper shows people that you are like tapped in enough to have ideas. So there's a concept on the internet called the 99-1 rule. 90% of people on any given platform are consumers. Thank goodness for them, or nobody would be reading the content, watching the videos. 9% are engagers and contributors. Thank goodness for them. Nobody would be sharing it. Nobody would be commenting on it. But that leaves just 1% who are creators. And that 1% is the New York Times, it's CNN, it's Mr. Beast, and it's you when you blog. It's literally that easy to join into the 1% simply by writing blog posts. And we're going to talk more about how to blog in a minute. Let me just finish my 3 points, and then I'll jump back to that. So blogging's also the third reason. It serves as a bridge between your social media accounts and your website. Now, I talked about how you shouldn't show links, and I'm going to actually show some examples where I do what you were talking about. But it doesn't matter how good your website is. You're not going to get people to your website by just telling them to go to your website, but a blog gives you infinite reasons to send people to your website, right? So here's a blog post I wrote. I asked ChatGPT about Joe Biden and Donald Trump's emails, and it inadvertently threw some serious shade. So this is a blog post I wrote that still gets a ton of SEO traffic, weirdly. Like, I literally track it. People are searching for Joe Biden and Donald Trump's personal emails and finding this blog post. It's bizarre. But I wrote this blog post, and it like blew up a little bit. So, and you'll see under the ... there's a link to it, but like, this is the takeaway. I didn't like post it and let it like auto-populate. Instead, I posted the graphic and then did it. And then it sends people to the website if they want to go. And here's the blog post, right? And obviously it's a much longer blog post. That's just a screenshot of the top. But then a week later, I created another graphic to send people to the same blog post. And this also, like, people love this stuff. Like, it was like interesting, and it really broke through the algorithm in interesting ways, but it was all gearing back to a blog post I'd written. And I did a whole series on like tracking like emails throughout the primary and the general. I work in politics, y'all. So like, forgive the political side. Happy to have that conversation at 9 o'clock if y'all want. You know, I was able to keep, and again, use the same thing, the graphic first, then the link to the thing. I can keep sharing takeaways from that without feeling redundant, because every time it's something new. I'm not copying and pasting the same copy. I'm sending something new, but every time I do it, I'm sending people back to my website. So I went on to Google and I searched how to stain a deck. I was like, let's see what the very first thing that came up was. and I found this blog post from a company trying to sell me stain. Were they writing about why their stain was the best? Well, guess what? I wasn't searching for that. They were never going to show up in Google by saying why our stain is better than their stain. Instead, they wrote first timers deck staining guide. And then they wrote a blog post, step 1, step 2, step 3. There was like 5 or 6 steps. But guess what? I'm covering it up. Every single one of these steps had built-in calls to action. Nobody's going to begrudge you calls to action if you're adding value in between it. If I got to the link and if I clicked the link and I opened up the blog post and it was just one big call to action, go buy our stain now, I couldn't like unsubscribe or run away faster. But if they're teaching me how to do it, I'm like, great, let me go find the right stain. Let me buy my deck stain online. Like, fine. You can have calls to action interspersed throughout. You can move people to your donate page or to your buy now page so long as you're adding value in the blog post. And I do that, and you should do that. Blogging doesn't just have to be about adding value. It can be about conversions. But like, first you got to add value or there's not going to be any conversions. So use your blog to spell out larger concepts than you could in a social post. Educate. I like to break it down into educate, pull back the curtain, engage, and inspire. That's my 3 big like bucket topics for when I think about a blog post. I'm doing one of those 3. So you don't have to be a great writer to be a great blogger. I genuinely believe that. I'm a writer first. You do not have to be a great writer to be a great blogger. Use a post to answer a single question. If you've got 2 questions you're answering, that's 2 posts. Break it up. Keep it simple. Answer 1 question. I know people love to talk about length. Ignore that. That is noise. I wrote a blog post years ago that was like 150 words. That's one of the biggest drivers of traffic to my website. Yes, long form posts do better, but if you're just adding content to add content, you're not doing yourself any favors, I promise. Make it super easy to scroll, even on a mobile device. If somebody cannot scroll quickly, they're not going to read it. They're going to move on. Focus on keywords if you care about SEO. So you don't have to care about SEO. There are other reasons to blog. That Joe Biden, Donald Trump email thing, I don't know why that works on SEO. It's like weird to me that it does. Like, it shouldn't be SEO friendly. Like, there's no way I'm ever going to outcompete with the New York Times or whatever, but it's got traffic. But I write blog posts either for Facebook or Google or both. But if you're writing for Google, make sure you're paying attention to which keywords you should be using. And there's a ton of tools out there you can use. Ubersuggest, SEMrush, Ahrefs, all of those will help you figure out, like, what are people actually searching for? Where can I actually compete? If you're competing with Walmart, you're losing. But like, there's ways, like long form keywords enable you to blog in ways that like you can't, like, what's the best way to stain my deck in Madison, Wisconsin? Like, Walmart's not in that space. That stain company's not in that space. So those are tools that will help you do that research. Some of them are expensive. Ubersuggest is free a couple times a day, or you can pay for it. There are loads of AI tools that can help with this, like loads of them. ChatGPT will write blog posts for you. Jasper, Ubersuggest has one called AI Writer, Copy AI. There are so many. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't sound like it was written by a person, I'm not going to read it. If you can't, here's my advice to you. If you use your AI tools all you want, but do this. Wait a day to publish and come back to it after you've had a cup of coffee or something and read it. And if you feel nothing, delete it and start over. Or rework it until you feel something. Because if you don't feel anything from your writing, I can guarantee you your audience isn't going to feel anything either. I use AI tools for sure. I write a draft. I take it to AI. I'm like, what did I miss? Where is there room to punch this up? AI is not the enemy here. But if you're letting AI write the first and only draft of your post, I can pretty much guarantee you're not going to see any value from that post. Okay, analytics, super important. I like to say we have one job on social media. That job is to sell, share, engage, listen, learn. This is posting content. This is talking to our audience. This is paying attention to what our competitors and our industry leaders and our journalists are doing. And this is checking our analytics. This is my little cutesy little acronym that I came up with for that. So on LinkedIn, you go to click over here, like it'll show you how many comments and reactions you got. It'll show you how many views you got. Click through, and it'll show you a bunch of other stuff. If you click on this button, which they actually finally added a way to get to without going by the post. Until very recently, you had to go by a post, and now you don't. So you click on that button, and now you can see it by the last week, and here is it by the last 90 days. You can go all the way up to 365 days. You could see your content in order of when it was posted, or sorry, like how many reach it got, how many engagements. There's not a ton of stuff there, but there's some stuff there, and you should be checking because it's really helpful to see what's working. I accidentally went backwards because I was just like, it will show you like, oh, Jeff Jackson posts them to do really well with my audience. Great, I can keep posting those. Facebook, you go to Meta Business Suite, and then you go to Insights, and then it will show you literally age, gender, location, language spoken, all kinds of information. It will break down like days that you did well, It'll show you your content, and those, you see these here at the top? You can literally break it down by which one got the most video views, which one got the most likes, which one got the most comments. You can literally see like how it's working. I will say, you can also see if your pages are connected, you can also see your Instagram analytics right there in your insights. You also can go directly through Instagram. You click on that hamburger menu, that thing in the top right corner is called a hamburger menu. Click on that, there's a drop down, you click on insights, and there is a ton of data in there showing you like who you've reached, which of your content broke through. You actually have a story archive in there. So like those posts that disappear after 24 hours actually live on. You lose the ability to see who saw it, which has always been a weird piece of stories, but you can still see how many people saw it. So you can literally see like which of your stories actually worked. What I like to say about analytics, they don't give you the right answers. They do give you the right questions. They're not going to tell you why a post did well. They're going to tell you that a post did well. It's your job to figure out why. If every time your organization posts about the organizational dog that comes to the office, well, work that dog into your content. Like your audience wants to see that dog. Like what is it that you're posting that your audience wants to see? That's good content. There's no other way to define good content than what your audience wants to see. And until you're checking your analytics, you don't know what your audience wants to see. So that's where you like find out what's good content. Okay, our last tip, and we're running out of time. Remember who the hero is. Hint, it's not you. You are not the hero of your story. It's your audience. If you are constantly talking about yourself, you've lost the thread. You should be talking about them. How can they do better? How can they be like, how can they stay in their deck? Not why we're the best deck staying out there. Like find a way to make it about them, not about you. You and your organization, especially if you're a nonprofit, are not superheroes. You're a voice for the people. You're not there to make sales. You're there to build a community. Add value consistently, and the rest will follow. And I'm not promising success, but I will guarantee failure if you are simply posting links, asking people to come buy from you. Like that's the best I got. Like in this world of the dumpster fire social media, you're either finding a way to be relevant on social and hoping that you can find a way to make this work, or you're spinning your wheels. Like that's the best I got. So here are my 10 tips if you like wants to take a screenshot or anything. And obviously this was recorded. I know I talk really fast, y'all, but 2 hours worth of content in 45 minutes. It's pretty good, you know? So, I mean, literally I do whole hours on half of these topics. So here's like my tips. And then I see some phones up. I'll give y'all like one more second. Bonus tip. If it didn't happen on social media, it didn't really happen. I find this to be a really helpful way. This is the mantra on every political campaign I work, and I work a lot of them. It's a really helpful way to think whether or not something is relevant. Did it happen? Do we want people to know it happened? Well, until it's on social, it didn't happen. Okay, I have a mailing list, joshklemons.com/prez. If you sign up for that today, I'm going to raffle off one free consulting session to somebody who signs up today. And if you're already on my list, you can still sign up. It doesn't matter. Just sign up through that link, and I will I'll raffle off one free consulting session to somebody who signs up today. I am obsessed with content. For those of you who know me, you know this. I have 2 podcasts. The first is called Hello Merge Tag, where social media and politics intersect. I've talked to some really interesting people about this topic. You can listen to all episodes at hellomergetag.com or wherever you stream podcasts. Step Up Your Social. All episodes are short, 10 minutes or less, intended to help you take your digital marketing to the next level. You can listen to all episodes at stepupyoursocial.com or wherever you stream podcasts. I have a completely separate newsletter. They are completely separate signups. You have to sign up for both. I respect my audience. I don't just port y'all between stuff. If you would like 2 free digital tools in your inbox every 2 weeks, sign up and learn more at freetools.digital. You can find links to all of that and a whole lot of other things that I have on the internet at joshklemons.com/content. And I am on a whole bunch of social platforms. Feel free to connect with me. I respond to all comments. And with that, I will take questions, y'all. Whew.
Questions?
Here's one.
Oh,
One, I'd like to know what brand of coffee you drink. The second
It's
one
not
is
the coffee, man. I
Yeah.
promise.
the second one. I'd like to do more short form videos, and I just would love to just shoot it and post it right away.
I do that.
But I need to do a little bit more editing, I think, and that's what blocks me. Is it what do I need to add for it? Is it just captions or background music, intros, outros?
So here's my process for creating a TikTok, including that one that reached over 100,000 people. I hold my phone up, I hit the button, and I do it one sentence at a time or one thought at a time. The place where most people get messed up, they think they have to do the whole thing in one take, but TikTok, and CapCut has an app that'll let you do this if you're not on TikTok. You hold the button down while you're recording, and then you can undo just the piece that you just recorded, and I love it. So I'll be like, hey, y'all, coming at you from Social Media Breakfast, take my finger off. This morning we're talking about, undo. This morning we're talking about 10 social media tips. And it makes it really easy for me to like do it in one take because I didn't have to like get it perfect all the way through. And I work with clients all the time who are like so in their head. They're like, I got to read the script. I got to memorize the script. No, don't have a script. Just know exactly what you want to say and do it one piece at a time so you can undo the last piece. If you want to edit, CapCut's great. V.io will add captions really easily. But honestly, TikTok adds captions for you. I used to edit them. It's so much work. I don't even do that. It's rarely an issue for me. So I just post and I've gotten millions of views. But I'm not saying you shouldn't. CapCut is great. V.io is great. Like those are some good ones.
Next question, anyone?
And for the record, it's not the coffee. I could do this literally all day. Like y'all would be leaving and I'd still be like, wait, let's talk about SEO more. I never get bored of this stuff.
So is it better to post on business and then share that on your personal, or tag your business from your personal?
It depends on your goals, but everything, when I work with political campaigns, for sure, always start with the brand page, always, 100% of the time, and then share to your personal if it's relevant. But you don't want to be spamming your audience. Differentiate between your friends and family and your audience, or you'll have neither, right? Like nobody wants to see you constantly trying to sell your product if that's not your audience. So yes, I'm not saying you should never post it to your personal page. Tagging your brand page won't do anything for you. Like it doesn't help you. Like nobody's going to see that content because you tagged it. So start with the brand page, share it to your personal if it's relevant. I actually have a Step Up Your Social episode called Stop Inviting All Your Friends to Like Your Page. Like, because they're not the right audience. Like you don't want everybody liking your page. You want the people that, I'd rather you have a small audience that cares than a big audience that doesn't. So yeah. Anything else?
We're out of time.
Aw, just kidding. Thanks y'all so much. I'll hang out. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Oh, I can switch over.
Okay, I promised a winner of a gift card. It's going to go to our first question asker, Roberto, over there. So let's give it up for Roberto. You get a $10 gift card to J&J Gifts and More. Our next event is February 19th, talking more social with Gray Miller of Decentralized Social. So I'm really looking forward to that and learning more about those platforms. And once again, connect with us if you want to volunteer, if you want to sponsor an event, shout out a nonprofit, apply for a scholarship. All these things can be found at SMBMad.org. Or again, find one of us board members, ask any questions. We're here to help and connect with you. Oh, and I jumped the slide, but we already talked about that. Okay, thank you. Everybody have an awesome day.